So what do you do when your dreams die? Do you sit down and cry? Do you give it up and just die? Or do you give it one more try? I found myself in that situation just a few years ago, and I thought I had a secure future. We had been following Dave Ramsey's financial piece. We were debt-free except our house. We had just saved up 3 months of our income for our emergency fund. We were getting ready to start funding our retirement more aggressively and start paying off our home. Then suddenly, in 2011, a couple weeks before Christmas, my boss showed up at the store with someone from our corporate office. And this guy from the corporate office informed me that my services weren't needed anymore. And I found myself unemployed. Do you sit down and cry? Do you give it up and die? Or do you give it one more time? Well, I was replaced by a brand new pharmacist right out of college. And as all new pharmacists, he had a doctorate degree in pharmacy. Back when I got my degree, it was only a bachelor's degree. On top of that, the pharmacist shortage has suddenly become an overabundance of pharmacists. So they hired him in at $25,000 less per year than what I was making. Do you sit down and cry? Do you give it up and let die? Or do you give it one more try? Even though I lost my job, neither myself nor my wife were really upset about it at the time. We knew we had a 3-month emergency fund, and we knew that anytime in the past that I'd looked for pharmacist jobs, that I found one fairly quickly. I really wasn't happy where I was, so I thought it would be a good opportunity to look for something that I really wanted to do. I didn't know it at the time, though, but the pharmacist shortage was much worse off than what I'd realized. A week of unemployment became a month became 2 months, then a year, then 2 years. And when you face a situation like this, it plays havoc on your self-esteem. Your self-worth, it hits the lowest. The longer you go without work and the more you are rejected, the worse you feel. So do you sit down and cry? Do you give it up and let it die? Or do you give it one more try? Where do you go when you don't have that dream anymore? In my case, I had to back up and, I'll talk a little bit more about myself in a second, but I don't want to talk about me right now. What I want to talk about right now is you. I want to talk about your dreams. I mean the big dreams, the bold, caring, imaginative ones. The ones you had when you were 15 years old, 18 years old, 20 years old. Because you know what I see? I see people give up on their dreams. And it seems the older we get, the more we give up on our dreams. Talk to any kid who's 15 years old, and they know they're going to have a great car when they grow up, and a great house, and a great job, and a wonderful spouse. And they're going to be rich, and they're going to be successful, and they're going to be an astronaut or a football star or a rock star or whatever. You know what I mean? There's no limit to what they can dream and what happens along the way. They go to college. Then they get out and they graduate. Now they're 22, 23 years old. They take a job that they really don't want. It's not their dream job, but they figured it'll do for now. And then maybe they find about another job that's still not their dream job, but it pays a little bit more money than the last one did. And then they meet someone along the way, bum, 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 and all of a sudden there's 2 of them and a little baby. And then there's another baby. And there's diapers and formula and braces and all those kinds of things. All of a sudden, they take another job that's 500 miles away, but it pays just a few $1,000s more, so they take that job. And all of a sudden, you're 35 years old, you're 45 years old, you're 55 years old, and you forgot all about your dreams. That's what I want to talk about right now. You probably heard, this video is about a business opportunity. No, it's about a dream opportunity. How to get your dreams back. A guy that I know, he likes sports cars. It's funny. He says he'll be sitting at a stoplight in one of his Vipers, and then some car will pull up next to him at the light, and there'll be a guy driving the car, and he's got his 2 or 3 kids in the back with him. One of the kids will roll down the window, and they'll lean out the window and say, "Hey, Mr. Viper Man, cool car, man. Rev up that engine. I can't wait till I grow up. I'm going to get me a Viper just like that." He says that kids say that to him all the time. Now, Dad doesn't say that. He's just sitting there behind the wheel because, you see, Dad's already grown up. He's already figured out he ain't getting that Viper. He's got the minivan. What happened along the way? You know, it's funny. Every year they publish this list of the most popular cars. And I take a look at that list every year when it comes out. And I'll read the list, and it's funny. Now, when I talk to kids, and I talk to a lot of them, they always like cars. You know, they're always talking about how they're going to get a Corvette or a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or you know, some other sports car. And when that list comes out of the best selling cars, it's always something like the Toyota Camry. Maybe some Mercurys are on there, Ford Focus, Kia Rio. These are all broke mobiles. These are all cars they make for broke people, like Toyotas, Chevys. They make those things for broke people. Now, how come when you see that list of top cars, the top 10 cars, you don't see Ferraris and Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces and Jaguars and Bentleys? It's because most people gave up on their dreams. They say, well, this is the car we've got. It's got room for the car seat in the back, and we can afford the payments. And they settle for a car. They settle for a house. They settle for a job. They settle for a life of quiet desperation when they can be living a life full of joy and challenge and growth and adventure and prosperity. That's what this video is about. I want you to think about it. Really, here's the challenge. I want to give you a challenge. I want you to think of 5 things you would do, have, or become if money were no object. I mean, really, think about this, okay? You don't even have to write it down. I just want you to think about it. Think about if you had Bill Gates' kind of money, if you had Warren Buffett's kind of money, or Donald Trump's kind of money. Would you be driving the car you're driving right now? How many people, to tell the truth now, how many people, if money was no object, how many of you would have a different car parked in your driveway tonight? Okay, now, if money was absolutely no object, you have 30, 40, 50, 60 billion dollars. How many people would have a different roof over their head when they went home tonight? How many people would have a better wardrobe? And ladies, how many of you would have bigger closets? Yeah, so this tells me something. This tells me you do have dreams and you want to live, or you wouldn't be sitting through this video right now. See, most of the people in the United States, most people aren't gathered like this. Most people are sitting in the recliner, rubbing the hair off the back of their heads, drinking rancid fermented hops, watching the Idiot Box 6 hours a day. And this is their life. Monday morning, 6:30, the alarm goes off. And they hit that snooze bar. If I could just get 15 more minutes of sleep. And they wait 15 more minutes. And they hit that snooze bar again and get 10 more minutes. And then they got to get up. They rush in the shower. They jump in the car. They buy their breakfast in a drive-thru somewhere. And then they go to a job they don't like or actually hate. 85% of them, a job they don't like or actually hate. And they get through the day. They get through Monday until 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock. And then they go out and face the traffic going home. They probably get a drive-through dinner somewhere, you know, a big dinner in a bucket to take home to the kids. They get in front of that Idiot Box again, and they sit there in a coma till they fall asleep or crawl into bed until Tuesday morning, 6:30. It all starts all over again. Wednesday, hump day. Thursday, we're almost there. Thank goodness it's Friday. But you know what Friday means? Friday means somewhere near the end of the day, the boss is going to say, here boy, he's going to get out that little paycheck, and they're going to get that paycheck, and for one brief moment in time, it's going to feel like it's theirs. But we know it isn't. It's not theirs because they got all those little window envelopes from the credit card companies just waiting for them when they get home. And that money is spent long before it ever got to them. But for this one brief moment in time, it feels like it's theirs. So what do? They go out to Pizza Hut. So it's off to Pizza Hut for a deep dish pizza, meat lovers, extra cheese, extra meat. But you know what? Diet Pepsi, because I'm trying to hold down my weight. Then it's off to Redbox, or maybe home to their Netflix, where they get 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, even 10 videos to get them through the weekend. They'll spend their entire weekend sitting on that same recliner, rubbing the same hair off the back of their same old head, drinking that same rancid fermented hops in a coma all weekend long, video after video after video, so they don't have to think about their life of quiet desperation until Monday morning, 6:30 a.m., it all starts all over again. This is life for a lot of people. In fact, this is life for millions of people. They're missing out on the real life. They're missing out on the real joy. And I don't want that for you. I didn't come here to tell you what you want to hear. I came here to tell you what I think you need to hear. We've got a business opportunity here which offers you a chance with unlimited income potential. It's a business to help you be successful while you're helping other people reach success. You choose the hours that you want to work. You pick the people that you get to work with. You know what a joy that is, just to be able to pick the people instead of those slobs that you work with every day? Tax advantages are extraordinary. The travel opportunities, if you're like me and you like to travel, the opportunities in this business are just simply amazing. Okay, so what's it take to do the business? Well, it doesn't take a lot of money. There's very low startup costs. It doesn't take a lot of time. This is a business that you can start in 7 to 10 hours a week. And what I'm going to share with you tonight is a 2 to 4 year plan. You know, some people say this is a get-rich-quick scheme. Well, you know, as a matter of fact, yes. If it takes 2 to 4 years to get rich, then it's a get-rich-quick plan as far as I'm concerned. Because what most people are doing, they're doing the 45-year plan, which is they get a job around 20 years old. They work for 45 years at that dead-end job. They retire at 65 years old and try to live their golden years on half of what they couldn't get by on when they worked. Do you get that? You know your retirement is about half of what it would take of what you're making right now? If you count on the government to take care of you, if you're counting on pensions to take care of you, you're looking at living your golden years on 50% of what you can't get by on right now. So if your idea of your golden years is walking your poodle around the block, good luck. But if you think you're going to travel the world and go see your grandkids and live a wonderful life of leisure, you better take a very good look at what we've got to show you. Because what I'm going to show you here is going to show you how to take control of your own destiny. You've got to control your own income. You've got to control your own retirement security. And that's one of the biggest benefits of this business. So a 2 to 4 year plan takes 7 to 10 hours a week. It doesn't take a lot of money. So what does it take? It takes the dream. Because if you don't have that dream, you'll never find the 7 to 10 hours a week. I can guarantee it. You're busy. We're all busy. You're working. You're picking up the dry cleaning. You're making dinner. You're taking the kids to ball practice. You're paying the bills. You got to sleep. You got to eat. You're using 24 hours every day already. So what's got to give? You've got to find a dream. Something that will take you to this frame of mind where you change the way you live. You would change the daily actions you take. You would change your mindset for 2 or 4 years. So the alarm clock is going to go off at 6:30 in the morning. You're going to get up. You're going to have your breakfast. You're going to go to work. You're going to work your job 8, 9 hours a day. You'll get out of that job. You'll run somewhere and grab a bite to eat, and then go somewhere and work for another 2 or 3 hours in the evening when you could be at home watching TV, when you could be with your kids, when you could be with your family, when you could be watching that football game or something else. You say, I'll find the 7 to 10 hours a week for 2 to 4 years to build my freedom, to build my security, to build my independence. And don't tell me, ladies, well, I can't do that because my kids. Let me tell you what I say. Don't use your kids as an excuse not to do this business. Use your kids as the reason to do this business. So you can raise your own kids instead of paying somebody else to raise those guys for you. You know, people drop their kids off at the daycare center 6:30, 7:30 in the morning. They pick them up at 5:30, 6:30 at night. Those poor kids couldn't pick their mothers out of a police lineup. We're so busy trying to pay the bills. You're so busy trying to cover the mortgage. You're so busy trying to pay the rent. You can't live life. And that's not the way life's meant to be. I came here because I want you to have an amazing life. I'm making some sacrifices along the way to change my dream life. And that's what I'm saying to you. Make some sacrifices. Take 2 or 4 years and make a commitment. When you walk out of here tonight, make that commitment, not to your spouse, not to your sponsor, not to me, to yourself. Make a commitment to yourself that you're worthy, that you're worth it, that you'll think back, and that's what I want you to really do is say, okay, what were your dreams when you were 15? What is the house you would live in if money was no object? Do you have a picture of it somewhere, maybe in your mind? Do you carry around the picture to help fuel you? What is that dream car that you want to be driving? Is it a red Lamborghini Diablo, a Ferrari Testarossa, a Bentley, a Viper? What is it? Do you have a picture of it with you? Do you keep a picture in your wallet? Do you have a picture of it in your planner, on your dream board? You got it up on the mirror in the bathroom. Do you have it on the refrigerator in the kitchen? You know how much time you want to spend with your loved ones? Do you know how much money you want to give to charity? That's living a life of dreams. That's living a life of wonder, adventure, and grow. And that's what I want for you. But you got to know what that is yourself. So please, those 5 things, what would they be? Maybe you're going to give $1 million to your church or temple or synagogue. Maybe you want to take a year off and study ballet. Maybe you want to take a 6-month cruise and cruise around the world. Maybe you want to fly all your family in from all over the world and have a reunion. Maybe you want a house in Paris or a house in Hawaii or a house in San Francisco or San Diego. Maybe it's being able to retire and never worry about an income. I don't know what it is to you. You have to know what it is, or nothing I'm talking about tonight is going to make any sense to you. You'd be better off staying home and watching Survivor or Big Brother or Fear Factor or whatever one of those other shows are instead of being here tonight. Because if you're here tonight, you got to know what your dreams are. And I can show you how you can live those dreams. And I'll show you how to build some residual income, some retirement security, and you can just do the numbers yourself, okay? And you could say, is there any of those 5 things that I would do, have, or become that I can get with what I see here? The difference is, here's the secret, okay? I know there's nothing for free. There's always a cost. Here's a secret to everything I'm going to talk about tonight. It has to do with leverage. It's getting you out of the trap, and there's a big trap, okay? And this is the trap. It's people trading time for money. You work 40 hours, you get paid for 40 hours. So you work 40 hours and get paid $400 a week. If you're sick half a day and you only work 35 hours, you get paid $350. If you need some extra money because there's something that you want to do or put some overtime in then to get the money to do it. So maybe you'll work 45 hours. So maybe you get $450. Well, you know what? That's trading time for money. Time for money. Hours for dollars. You're trading time for currency. You can't get wealthy. It's a trap. You've got to put some leverage to work somehow to get out of that, because this is what keeps people broke. So in my case, when I lost my dream and I started all over again, I said, well, I got a choice here. I can go and live like most other people do and live that life of quiet desperation and just mind my own business and do that thing and be a worker drone in a collective like everybody else. Or I can go after my dreams again. So I began a study of prosperity, because when you're unemployed for 2 years, things will look a whole lot different. You're depressed. You can't sleep. You sit up late watching TV at night. And late night on TV, they play all those infomercials. You know those infomercials. They're always about how to make money. So what do you do when you're unemployed and you can't sleep? You watch infomercials. You think how miserable your life is. So I sit up and this infomercial starts. I remember there was a guy, a Vietnamese guy named Tom Wu. I believe that was his name. I don't know if you've ever saw him. He had one of those courses on how to buy real estate with no money. So one night about 3 a.m., I'm sitting on the sofa. Tom comes on, says, "You sitting on the sofa." What? "Yeah, you sitting on the sofa. It's 3 a.m. Now I know he's talking to me because it's 3 a.m. and I'm sitting on the sofa. "You sitting on the sofa at 3 a.m. Your wife's asleep. Your baby's asleep. You are loser. Nobody cares about you. You are loser. If you don't buy my program, you deserve to be broke." Something else had to go. And that was my mindset. My victim, loser, woe is me, all the circumstances against me. That mindset had to go. And I had to say, okay, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sick of being broke. I'm sick of being sick. I'm sick of being stupid. I'm sick. I would have been happy to have an alarm clock going off at 6:30 in the a.m. to wake me up back then. So, okay, I started a study of prosperity, and here's what I found. Actually, 2 secrets of prosperity. If you want to be wealthy, secret number 1, you've got to be your own boss. So, secret 1 to being wealthy, you've got to be your own boss. You're not going to get rich working for other people. If you're going to get a job as president of Disney Studios, or maybe IBM calls you and wants you to be vice president of operations, maybe you're going to make a lot of money then. All I know is those people weren't calling me, and they may not be calling you either. So if those people aren't calling you and you want to be wealthy, you've got to be your own boss, because let me tell you a secret. I don't care how nice your boss is. I don't care how much your boss loves you or wants to help you. The truth is, they have to buy you at wholesale and sell you at retail. Otherwise, they don't make money. They don't stay in business. So the only way to make money off of you is to buy you at wholesale and sell you at retail. So if you want to make money, you got to be able to get up in the morning, look in that mirror, and know that you're talking to the boss. And issue number 2, and this is the most important thing, which we mentioned, you've got to employ the concept of leverage. Leverage. J. Paul Getty, who was one of the wealthiest people in the world in his time, he had a saying that people often quoted him about, and he understood this concept of leverage quite well. Probably his most famous quote is when he said, "I would rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 people than have 100% of my own efforts." Because he understood the concept of leverage, and he became one of the wealthiest men in the world, and actually one of the wealthiest men they've ever known. So tonight I'm going to share with you how you can employ the same concept of leverage that the wealthiest people in the world do, and allow you to get your share of that kind of wealth. So how do you put this leverage to work for you? It's a business called network marketing. Sometimes it's called multi-level marketing. Sometimes we call it MLM for short. What is it? It's a business that allows you to leverage the efforts of other people who have a dream and are willing to trade that 7 to 10 hours a week to get their dream. So you're going to introduce them to the business. You're going to teach them the duplicatable system that they can follow and duplicate the same results with people that they're going to introduce the business to. And create the system that everybody can follow, and everybody will get a nice chunk of the organization that's built. And because you direct your own business, because you're your own boss, you get some residual income out of the efforts of other people that you introduce into the business. That's leverage. It's no different than when Madonna makes a record, and every time they play that CD or they play that record, she gets a royalty. Or when Steven Spielberg does a movie, and every time that movie's played, he gets a royalty. That's how the average person can get leverage. See, if you got money, leverage isn't a problem. You can leverage your money. You can buy stocks and bonds and invest in companies, invest in real estate, all that kind of stuff. I couldn't do that. You know, you could buy a franchise. And franchises today cost anywhere from 10, 20, 100,000, even $1 million. I couldn't afford franchise fees. I didn't have that kind of money lying around. And ask somebody about the stock market. They'll tell you unless you've got about $25,000 that you can afford to lose, don't even get involved in the stock market. I didn't have $25,000 I could afford to lose. Heck, I didn't even have $25 I could afford to lose. If you have a couple 100,000, a couple million, you can leverage that, by going out and buying real estate or stocks and bonds. But if you've got that, then you don't even need to be on this presentation tonight. I'm speaking to the rest of you who don't have that kind of money, and the rest of you who maybe used to have that kind of money until the stock market tanked, and now your retirement fund is 40% of what it was 2 years ago. Let's talk about how you can build your security. So what is network marketing? It's just a new paradigm in distribution. It's been around for about 50 years now. I say it's a new paradigm in distribution because it's changing the way we get products and services to the consumer. With things that have happened recently, you know, the internet, overnight shipping, satellite, telephone, fax technology, all this stuff is driving network marketing to be a bigger force today than it's ever been. So it's been growing consistently for more than 50 years. There's somewhere between 14 to 16 million people in the network marketing industry. Direct selling industry is making somewhere between 70 and 80 billion dollars this year. So this is a very credible business. If you can read the financial papers the last few years, you've seen it mentioned in the Wall Street Journal, a front page cover story on Success Magazine or Forbes Magazine. The mainstream press is really starting to pick up on this. Economists like Harry Dent and Paul Zane Pilsner, entrepreneurs like Robert Kiyosaki and Donald Trump. They all say that it's the best way for middle-income folks to create the income to pursue their dreams. Now, why is this happening? It's because it's the future. It's what has to be, because what's happened in the past doesn't work anymore. Here's how it used to work. Here's how the distribution model used to work. We have a manufacturer. Let me illustrate it on the board. You would have a manufacturer. And the manufacturer would make a product, and he would resell it to a rack jobber, and then that rack jobber who would then buy it and resell it to a chain. And that chain store would store it in a warehouse for some period of time, you know, 6 weeks or so, where it's going to get all dusty and everything. Then it's going to get transferred by truck to a brick and mortar store. Okay? And then you come in the store and you buy the products. This is how the products get to the market. Well, they had to make money. You know, these guys had to make money. These guys had to make money. These guys had to make money. And these guys had to make money. They all had to make some money in the process. And you know, they did it. They did all this by jacking the price up all the way down the line, taking money out of your pocket. Now, that made a lot of sense 100 years ago. It doesn't make any sense today, because today we can have a network marketing company manufacture the product and send it direct to the distributor, who in many cases are the end consumer. So you've got the network marketing company manufacturing the product and then sending it to the distributors, who in most cases are actually the end consumer. And in some cases, they just conversationally market the products to their friends and their neighbors and their relatives. We eliminate all these other people in the process. You know, so look at the difference this makes. You know, 200 years ago, something came over here from England. Okay. It would land in Boston or New York, and then it would have to go by stagecoach across the country. And then it went by train as time went on. And then finally, nowadays, it goes by truck. This is the only way that would work, this system here. It's the only way that would work. This is all we knew. Then we got fax machines, and we got the internet. We got FedEx and UPS and overnight delivery. We got 800 telephone numbers and fax machines. And all of a sudden, this model doesn't work anymore. It's a broken model. Why do you think so many businesses have been going in bankruptcy in the last 5 years? I mean, big name businesses, 100, 200-year-old companies, retailing giants like Macy's and Sears, companies we would think would never go out of business, that they'd be around forever. They went to bankruptcy court. Also, just in the news the other day, Staples is closing hundreds of stores. Why? Because all these companies have a broken distribution model. Network marketing now is the model of today. It's the model of the future. And with what we're doing now with internet and 800 numbers and ordering, This is going to get just bigger and bigger and bigger. So what this does, what the new network marketing distribution model does, and what this opportunity to participate, it allows you to have an opportunity to participate in a brand new paradigm in the distribution. I want you to think when fortunes were made in the past. They were made during revolutions. The agricultural revolution made a bunch of rich land barons. The industrial revolution made a bunch of rich factory owners and business owners. I mean, think about the Carnegies, Henry Ford, Chryslers, Heinz. Think of all the old money today. The families that we know of today came from the Industrial Revolution. So now we have the distribution revolution. So what that means is 50 years, 75 years from now, they're going to be going to meetings somewhere and they're going to say, think about all the old money today, the Able money, the Wallach money, the Pitcock money, your money. They're going to say it was made in the distribution revolution because they saw the power of the internet, overnight shipping, fax machines, 800, and how to put all this together into a new paradigm of distribution. This is what we're in right now. And I believe the next 2 years is going to be the biggest years of growth in the history of this industry. And you could be a part of it. Your income 40 years from now is going to be dependent on what you do for the next 2 years. Notice we have all this money that's been wasted. Well, where did all that money go now? Well, there's two places it had to go. One, it goes into product research and development. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit. And the other place it goes is right here to you, the distributor, the people who actually get involved with the business. You see, you could go to the store, you could buy a box of cereal for about $4.50 now. The actual cereal, it might only cost maybe 40 cents, 45 cents. Where's all the rest of the money between that 40, 45 cents and the 450? Where's that go? It's all wasted in all these layers of distribution. And you see, that's not necessary anymore. So that money gets freed up. And because you're a pioneer of the industry, because you're somebody willing to trade the 7 to 10 hours a week to get that dream, you're going to cash in on that. I want to sketch out for you how this business really works. Okay, I'm going to sketch out for you how this business really works. And so you can get an idea of how the money is made and how you can participate in it. All right, let's talk about how you make money in this business. We're talking about you now, not me, you. So how do you make money in a business? Well, you've got a dream. You want to trade 7 to 10 hours a week for 2 to 4 years to get your dream. So you get sponsored into the business. Okay, you make that commitment. Your sponsor says, all right, I'm going to work with you and I'm going to train you. And what you're going to do is we're going to help you identify, and I'll use this as an example, 6 people who you know who have a dream and would be willing to trade that 7 to 10 hours a day, a week to get their dream. So you're going to find 6 people. So you're looking for 6 people to have that dream. Fair enough? Follow me so far? All right. Now, let's suppose that everybody involved in the business produces a volume, okay? And this first month, the first month that you get involved in the business, we're going to say the volume is $150. Okay? So everybody's going to produce $150. Notice I didn't say $1,000 or $10,000 or $100,000. I said just $150. Why? Because I want you to see this is simple, very duplicatable, and very doable for everybody. The secret of this business is leverage. We have a lot of people doing a little bit, just 7 to 10 hours each week. So now, if you and each of the other 6 people that you introduce into the business each produce a volume of just $150 their first month, you have $900 worth of volume. Okay? Your first month, you have $900 worth of volume in your organization. Now, what you're going to see in this business of ours is that you can make about 8% of what your organization does. So if you had the 6 people each doing about $150, and that comes out to $900 volume, then you'd make $72 your first month in business. Maybe that's over there. Okay. You're probably thinking, Keith, you made me sit through this presentation this far, and all you're going to show me how to do is make $72. Well, I can't even put gas into my car for $72. Folks, this is just month number 1. Look, I'm a pharmacist. And by the way, if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you're an accountant, if you're a pharmacist, do you know what plan you're working under? You're trading time for money, just like the busboy at Denny's restaurant. Now, the doctor and the lawyer, the accountant, the pharmacist, we all trade dollars for hours, hours for dollars. Same thing as everybody else. So how much did they make? How much did I make while I was going to school to learn to be the pharmacist or to learn to be the accountant or whatever professional? In my case, I went to school for 6 years. Now, while you're learning to be a nurse, while you're learning to be a doctor, while you're learning to be a pharmacist, do they pay you anything? No. In fact, you're paying them $40,000, $70,000, $200,000. In my case, about $100,000 to become a pharmacist. So don't be crying about your lousy $72 here, okay? Because you're learning the business. Look what happens next. Now, the second month, we're going to help you help your people. We're going to teach you this duplicatable system to you and show you how to teach your people. And we're going to have them. Now, we're going to say they're not quite as bright as you are, okay? They didn't quite get this as good as you did. So they each went out and got 5 people that they introduced into the business, all right? Now, of course, it's not going to work out exactly like this because I know some of you are sitting out there thinking, okay, this guy might only get 4. Don't worry about that. I'm just making an example. So you got 6 people, and each of these 6 people are going to find 5 people. Okay. So each of these people are going to find 5 people. Plus you still have your 6 people up here. So you're going to have 30 new people in your organization right here. You're going to have your original 6 up there. So now you have 36 people in your second month, and they're all doing $150 in volume. So how much commission would that be in your second month? Okay, so 36 times 150, the volume is going to be $5,400. That's how much volume of product is going to be moving through your organization. You're going to get 8% of that, and that's going to be $432. Okay, now $432. That's a nice little bit of money, but it's still not going to buy my Lamborghini. Okay, I understand that, but that's just month number 2. Because all of a sudden, I want you to look and see what happens in month number 3. We have these 36 people that's in your organization. Now, they're not working for you. They're working for themselves. So they're not calling in sick. They're not stealing paper clips to take home, okay? None of that stuff. They're all working for themselves. Now, what happens when we duplicate the process and we say, now we're going to teach them how to teach their people? You say, well, how do you do that? Well, we've got a complete step-by-step duplicatable system to show you how to do that. You're going to teach your people how to teach their people. So we say, what if those 5 people each just got in 4? Okay, so each of these 5 people brings in 4. Okay. Now I want to be really conservative now. So I want to show you what happens, if I showed you what happens, if everybody was bringing in 6, it's gonna your teeth are gonna fall out because you're just not gonna believe it. So I'm gonna be very conservative here. So your 30 people, they each just got 4. Now you have 120 people on this level here. So you got your 120, you got your 30, you got your 6. So now you've got 156 people. They don't work for you. They work for themselves. 7, 10 hours a week rather. They're building a dream. They're doing this every week. So 120 people plus the 30 plus the 6. It's 156 people in your business. Everybody's just doing the same thing. You know, not $1,000 a month, not $10,000 a month, not $100,000 a month. Just 156 people doing $150 a month. That equals $23,400 in volume. Okay, in your third month, $23,400 in volume, which means your income from month number 3 would be $1,872. Now, all of a sudden, we've got a little money, something that we can play with. We can do something with the $1,872. Do you know how many bankruptcies would be avoided with $1,800 a month? I'd make a bet to say of all the personal bankruptcies, and there's been a record number of bankruptcies the last 5 or 6 years, 7 years now in a row. Every single year, it's broken the year before in the number of bankruptcies. And I'm telling you, I'll bet you 90% of them will be eliminated with $1,800 per month. Okay, probably 90% of them will be eliminated with $300 to $400 a month. Just this much would help people, start paying down their credit instead of paying those minimum balances. By the way, do you know how long it takes to pay off your credit card if you just paid the minimum balance every month? Is it 10 years? Is it 20 years? How about 30 years? Guys, it takes 40 years. So if you're paying the minimum payment every month, get happy, because in 2044, you're all paid off. All right, now we're going to go down one more level, and we're going to say, what if the 4 people, the 120 here, what if they each now only get 3 people? You know, some are going to get more, some are going to get less, but we're just going to use 3 as an example. And I'm not going to really go all the way across here to 3 of everything. I'm just giving you examples here. Okay, so now you've got your third level there. The 120 people each have brought in 3. Okay, and like I said, some are going to do more, some are going to do less. Just want you to see how this works. So now, 120 people bring in 3 people apiece. That gives you 360 people on this level, plus your 120. Okay, plus your 30, plus your fix. Now that gives you 516 people total. I'm not going to write that on the board. That gives you 516 people total. So 516 people times $150, that gives you $77,400. $77,400 in volume in your little business that you've got no employees in, no overhead. You're running this from your kitchen table or your spare bedroom or your hallway or your closet, or in my case, basement. You're doing $77,000. You understand? We can go down the street. We can find shop after shop, beauty salon after beauty salon, mom and pop store after mom and pop store, dry cleaner, whatever, that are not doing $77,000 a month in business. And you're doing this part-time, 7 to 10 hours a week. Why? Because you're using leverage. You get this? I mean, do you really get this? Because tell me, let me tell you a secret. If you get this, guys, you're not going to sleep very well tonight. Believe me, I've spent many a night just laying on that pillow, looking up the ceiling, thinking 6 to get 5, to get 4, to get 3. If you understand this now, we're talking $6,192 a month on this level. $6,192 a month. What if you didn't do that in 4 months? What if it took you 6 months? What if it took you 10 months? What if it took you 2 years? You know, I told you it's a 2 to 4 year plan. I know what some of you are thinking right now. All right, well, what if this guy right here drops out? Okay, guys, we got that. We got that handled too. We got this thing called dynamic compression. So we know that when somebody drops out, we're going to eliminate them, and then we're going to move whoever's next qualified person in line up into that position. So we've got that covered. Okay, so what if you didn't do this in 6 months? What if you didn't do it in 10 months? What if it took you 2 years? Wouldn't it be worth trading 7 to 10 hours a week for 2 years to have an extra an extra $6,192 a month? Let me ask the question again. Would it be worth trading in 7 to 10 hours a week for 2 to 4 years to have an extra $6,192 a month? That's what I'm talking about. When you get this, when you really get this, you're not going to sleep tonight, because you see how a dishwasher from a pancake house can become a multi-millionaire. You see how a bull rider and beautician from Kansas can make $40,000 a month. You see how people on welfare can build complete financial independence, and they can do it with dignity. They can do it with honor. They can do it with helping other people, giving them value, contributing. That's what we got to offer here. So see, now you say, okay, all this sounds good. It all looks good. What's that $150 you keep talking about? Well, I told you that the whole distribution model, we have that alternative money, all that money that used to be wasted in the distribution, now it goes into product research and development. You will see some of the most cutting edge, state-of-the-art products in this company that you're not going to see anywhere else today. Some of the best scientific breakthroughs, some of the best health breakthroughs, some of the best wellness breakthroughs, medicine breakthroughs, the best personal care products, environmentally friendly, non-toxic, natural products. Some of the best breakthrough products in all those categories have been brought to the marketplace because of network marketing in this company, because they have the time, the money, the research, and the resources to do that kind of research. So what we're asking you to do is find something in the companies of over 700 products the company has, and buy from yourself, buy from your own store. Just spend $150 of what you would spend somewhere else on your own products, on these cutting edge products. So what I'm going to ask you, if you're on this video, if you're seeing this for the first time tonight, then you have a conversation with the person who invited you to this video. Have a conversation with the person who asked you to watch the video, and they'll give you a catalog or some brochures, or they might have some tapes and some videos or some websites to send you to find out more about the products. What I want you to see tonight, though, is the big picture, okay, of how this distribution model works, because this is how fortunes are made. People who have recognized the paradigm, this new paradigm, and become pioneers in these new paradigms, they will reach the rewards for generations sometimes. So the products are there. Next question is, what about support? Now, I don't know anything about this business. I've never done it before. How can I do this business? Well, that's what the system's about. We keep talking about a system. In other words, we've got a system where we're going to teach you how to teach the business. We're going to teach you how to do the business while you're actually doing the business. That's why we got this presentation up on the internet. That's why we have meetings. You have a sponsorship line. You see a lot of people say, well, I don't want to be this guy right here. I want to be this guy up at the top, because look at all these people he's got underneath of him. I don't want to be this guy here. I want to be that guy right there. You know what? This guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, the guy above them, the guy above them, all these people that are in the line above you, all those people work for you, okay? And they work for you for free, because every one of the people all the way up to the company have a vested interest in their own business by working with you. So you want to have 150 people between you and the company, because they all work for you. So they're going to go, out with you. They're going to do two-on-ones with you, or conference calls with you. They're going to go to your prospects and sit down in a coffee shop with you. Bring in notepads and explain the business to your prospects for you. They'll conduct meetings like this where you can bring people to and let them see what the business is all about. They'll bring speakers in from all over the country. I've had several speakers come in to Louisville already myself. And sometimes people from all over the world will come in. So your prospects can see and meet and learn from some of the most successful people in the business. There's conference calls. There's monthly newsletters. There's regional training. There's company conventions. There's audios and videos and brochures and booklets and catalogs and websites. There's just hundreds of little things that are all designed for one particular goal in mind, to make you successful. See, you're in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself, because you have that whole support network of people to help you build your business. And that doesn't happen when you open a restaurant. That doesn't happen when you open a franchise. If you own a beauty salon, You own a little shop or store. You know, you don't own the business. The business owns you. You know, if you work for somebody else, you're never going to get wealthy. You know, so what we've got tonight is a model to let you work for yourself, but not by yourself. It gives you the option to build your future. Now, what I want to give you 3 options if you're thinking about the business. I want to suggest one of 3 things to you. Option number 1 is you can say, you know, Keith, that sounds good. It looks good. But you know what? I'm one of the 0.5%. I love my job and I get paid exactly what I'm worth. Well, you know what? If that's you, I don't know how you still made it this far in the presentation, but if you did, I want to thank you for staying, and we'd love to have you as a customer. You know, what I'm asking you to do is talk to the person who invited you and ask about the preferred customer program, because like I told you, we've got some of the most cutting edge, state-of-the-art products that you're going to find anywhere. Okay, if someone asked you to watch this video, told you about them, then they're going to become your personal customer service representative. So you're not going to be calling some 800 line where you never matter. You're not going to be going into a store and standing around for 20 minutes trying to get someone to help you. You can have the personal attention of somebody who knows you and cares about you and will look after your needs personally. Now, option number 2 is what we call the small business option. You say, you know what? This sounds good. I like the idea of being my own boss. I like that idea. I'm looking at a nutrition company. I'm a chiropractor, a massage therapist, an iridologist, a pharmacy, a physical therapist. I want to sell the stuff to my clients. Or maybe you own a spa or a gym or a salon and you think you could sell them there. Well, if you're looking to just kind of use the products yourself, buy them at wholesale, and then conversationally market your friends or neighbors or relatives, that's a small business. And if you want to make a couple $100 to a couple $1,000 a month, the small business option will be the one for you. Now, there's one more option, and that's the big business option. That's the stuff we're talking about right here. Meaning, you're not looking just to retail a couple products to friend. You want to build complete financial independence. You've got a dream. You're willing to trade that 7 to 10 hours a week to get that dream. And you're willing to do 2 to 4 year plan. You want to work to build that dream. You want to build an organization like this. That's the big business option. If you're looking for financial independence, then that's the option for you. That's the option for me. Now, let's bring this all together. I told you what happened when my dream when my prey got rained on. My dream looked like it was going to die. I drove around in that car. I remember crying in that car thinking, you know, I have to call my wife. I've got to call my family. I've got to call my friends. And it just took so much out of me. I had to lick my wounds. I just had to take a couple months and just regroup. I had lost my self-esteem. I'd lost my drive. I lost so much of myself. I just didn't even know where to go. I needed to get my sanity back. I needed that time just to think and regroup and get my sanity back, my esteem back. And then I went back to this business. You know, I told you guys before that I'd been in this business before. I actually had joined 14 different companies and did not have success. But at the time, I wasn't building my dream. I was working 70, 80 hours a week as a pharmacist, and I was just treating the business as a hobby. So, you know, I decided I needed to get back in this business because I knew people that were making that kind of money in this business. I knew it was for real. So this time, I called somebody that I knew in the business who knew me from before. And I said, you know what? You know me. You know that I can work. You know that I have a dream. How did I do that? I needed to. And I wanted to very badly. I was hungry. I had a dream, but I was sick of being broke. And that's what I want you to get out of this is to understand this, that you could sponsor 7, you can sponsor 8, you can sponsor 9, you can build this entire organization, build yourself up to get $50,000, $60,000 a year in residual income. And then you can go out and you can sponsor 5 more and start the whole process over again. The same exact thing. And then you can have $100,000 of residual income. Then you can go out and start with 5 more. And you can build that up and have $150,000. And if you put 5 more in a year, it's very simple. Put 5 serious people in the first year, put 5 serious people in the second year, the third year, you'll be making a fortune. Put 5 serious people in the 4th year, and you have a business worth at least $1 million. Put 5 more serious people in the next year, and you can have a business worth a couple $1 million. Why? Because we got residual income here. You're building leverage. You can't miss. That's what I want you to get. I want to tell you about 2 college students that I know. Now, this was back in the 1990s. They were both just starting their professional degree programs. Todd was accepted into his degree program when he found out his wife was pregnant. Not only pregnant, but pregnant with triplets. They were going to need 3 of everything. He knew he had to make some decisions. He knew he couldn't go to school, go to work, and help out with the babies. So something had to change. And someone showed him what I'm sharing with you tonight. He decided to quit his job and continue his studies. He decided to work this business that's 7 to 10 hours a week. By the time he graduated from law school, he was earning enough money to pay off all the school debt. I know Todd. His name is Todd Smith. I want you to fast forward to today. He is now a multi-million-dollar earner from his home business. He never even went to take the bar exam. What about the other student? Well, the other student also had just begun his professional degree program. His wife also became pregnant. He saw this business and rejected it. He thought, I'm going to be making very good income when I get out of school. So I'll just borrow the money I need to get through school, work the extra hours when I graduate to pay it off. I know this guy too. It's me. Fast forward to 2011, I'm unemployed, unable to find work in my career, depressed, not knowing what I'm going to do, how my life would have been so much different had I made that decision back then. And another couple I want to tell you about is Dave and Barb. They live in a very small town in Kansas. Dave was a bull rider. Barb was a beautician. They were in debt and facing bankruptcy at 23 years old. They were shown this concept and built an income of $40,000 a month very quickly. I'm okay with that because you can get by on that. A lot of people get by on that. But you know what? It's not about the $40,000 that gets me so excited about what Dave and Barb did. It's what they do now. It's the example they set for their kids. It isn't just the money. This is how you raise good kids. You show them how to be successful yourself. You don't tell them, grow up and get an education, grow up and be successful, grow up and make money. You model the behavior for them. We've got the model here where you can do that. There's no limit to what you can do. But I don't want to talk about my story anymore. I don't want to talk about Dave and Barb's story anymore. I want to talk about your story. I don't want to talk about my dreams or Dave and Barb's dreams. I want to talk about your dreams. Go back to what we said earlier. If you did this kind of thing, you did this in 6 months, a year, or 2 years, is there something on your list of the 5 things that you would do, have, or become that you could do with the down payment with what you'd be making there? How big is your dream? Are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to live your dreams? Because if you are, we've got the business that will allow you to do so. So I got a couple questions for you, and then I'm out of here. I'm looking for one-word answers. Question 1, do you really believe you're really worthy of success? Question number 2, are you really willing to live your dreams? And question number 3, last question, I'm looking for a one-word answer. That's it, and I'm out of here because all this, all these numbers, all these things, it all goes back to this one circle right here. And that one circle represents you. And this whole thing only works if you believe in you. If you believe you're worthy, if you believe you have a dream, if you want that dream, if you're willing to trade the 7 to 10 hours a week to live that dream, if you're willing to not let your dream die, you're not willing to sit down and cry, even if you have to sit down. I had to sit down and cry, but you're not willing to give up and let it die. You promised yourself, you make yourself, you commit yourself to give it one more try. So the last question I'm asking you is, based on everything we've talked about here tonight, everything you know about this business now, everything you know about the person who invited you, everything you know about you and what you are and what your dreams are, I need to know, are you willing to give it one more try?